is Marcus Wampario, and today we are starting a brand new series on this channel called PokeTalk Radio. It is where me and a couple of my friends just sit here, chill out, and talk for a good amount of time. Today it's going to be pretty short because it's only me and my friend Taj here from PokeTaj, the channel. If you want to say hi to him.
Hi guys.
Yeah, you don't see his face very often, but this is not going to be a specific TCG talk show because I mean most of us have been mainly TCG, but we're also going to be covering gaming and just Pokemon Go and in general the Pokemon community. So there's a few things that we're going to talk about. We were supposed to have one or two other people. What is his name? Jess Grimm. Sorry, I completely blanked on his name. He was supposed to be here. He's had some technical difficulties, so he can't make it. And we figured might as well just throw up a episode. And also Mav, the Mad Collector, however you want to say it. He is also going to be one that pops in and out every once in a while. He's very hectic schedule. But we are going to go ahead and hop into some of these weird and amazing topics that we have today. First one being these damn freaking vending machines in Japan, dickheads. They get all the good stuff. Trying to bring it up. Okay. So go. Sorry, I'm pulling this stuff up on my phone. So basically, I'm gonna be popping up some pictures here and there of what these things look like because they look absolutely amazing. Of course, they're in Japan because God knows America and the UK can't get that good stuff. You've seen them, right, Taj?
Yeah, so I've seen some articles around these and they look pretty impressive. So they've got them in Narita Airport, Aqua City, Oda Iba, sorry, Abina service area, and Kangawa and Ashigara service areas. Basically, these machines are pretty cool. They're multiple language. So they're from the Pokemon Center. You can get Pokemon Center exclusives in there, so like plushies and stuff. There's also Pokemon cards available from them. And the interesting thing is that it's available in the 4 different languages. So the vending machines support Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and English. So from where they're positioning them, it looks like they are specifically placed for the tourist industry. So people coming into Japan. Pokemon is like the Disney of Japan, as we all know. You know, it is huge, and people associate Pokemon with Japan. So I think they've put them in key strategic areas. It's a great way for Pokemon Center to be in areas where people might not be able to visit a Pokemon Center. And the other important thing is that these things are actually Poke Gyms as well. So you'll be able to pick up items and stuff. You play Pokemon Go. And I believe you also get exclusive codes and stuff for your Pokemon Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon on your 3DS. So
Really?
Yeah, so you can receive items from these things as well. So quite interesting how it's a multi-purpose thing. Not only is it just a vending machine, but it's a Pokemon gym, and it's one of the Pokemon's sort of service areas for you to be able to download items for your 3DS games. So I think it's amazing how they've been able to make a multi-purpose, but that's typical of Japan. They're very forward-thinking, innovative about how they do things. So it's pretty interesting. And on the vending machines, it's a big, huge touch screen with a couple of screens at the top as well. and I think it'll be playing sort of some of the anime, so you can see the latest sort of clips from the anime on it as well. So yeah, really, really sort of pushing for the whole Pokemon franchise thing, and giving people exposure to all of that. So yeah, really, really interesting vending machines, and they look super cool as well. The
Those
bright yellow, yeah, they just looks amazing.
the Pikachu's alone. Crap. The Pikachu's, I mean, their freaking faces are so adorable on these things.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a
And
bright yellow Pikachu color as well, isn't it? So the great
oh
thing about that
yeah,
is it's you're gonna
noticeable.
see it. You're not gonna miss it. Put it that way.
If you miss this, you're freaking blind as a goddamn bat. You need to go see that doctor.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking at a website. It's all in freaking Japanese, and
Yeah.
from what I can see, the two it looks like you're saying about the 3DS thing. It looks like one of the two top screens is gonna be specifically for that 3DS because it has
Yeah.
the Rotom Dex on it. So that's mostly a Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Pokemon Sun and Moon kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and it's got a freaking Lapras plushie in it. I want the damn thing.
So I've got a translation here of that Japanese page, and it's saying Rotopon's gift codes that can be received at Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon discharge, so obviously given out, so you can enjoy even in the game world. So yeah, so there is, as you're saying, I think those screens do show stuff, and it probably prints off. Yeah, it looks like it prints off a code potentially for you to then be able to use to get gifts on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is pretty cool.
That's
And yeah, it says it's a gym, so there will be raid battles running on these vending machines as well.
hey, maybe they're gonna be EX raid battles.
Yeah, hey, you never know.
Welcome to the freaking country. You're right in the airport and you're doing an EX Mewtwo raid battle. Maybe eventually
Absolutely.
something else besides Mewtwo, because apparently that's getting old for people. I don't know why. I don't even have a freaking Mewtwo yet, but
Yeah, me neither. I don't even have a Mew. I haven't completed all those exploration challenges yet to get that Mew. So
oh, the Mew is really kind of cool to catch too. It's a special, different catching mechanic on it. All right, so those are pretty cool. Seems actually that Pokemon is going a lot more towards bringing all of the Pokemon communities together because, like we were talking before, there is a very big split between Pokemon Go and everyone else. And there's a minor split between TCG and the gameplay, but it's not as massive as the Pokemon Go everyone else thing.
yeah,
Which brings us into the Switch. The first Pokemon game, second Pokemon game to come out on Switch, because technically Pokemon Quest is a thing. We were talking about that earlier. It sounds really cool. I don't have a Switch, so I can't play the damn thing, but the second one is going to be the one that's mainly to bring the community together. It's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I did a video on my channel a while back on it. Got, I think, 3 views. But it's a Gen 1 remake, and I say remake because it's not a remastered. They've changed a lot of things about it. They've revamped it. The graphics are perfect. It looks so much better than the 3DS gameplay. And just in general, the damn thing, I have very high expectations for when I play this for the first time.
yeah.
And I know
For
you
me,
having a Switch. Oh, sorry.
yeah. Sorry, I was going to say for me. I'm from that generation where I just missed out when the games first came out. Probably showing my age here. I was a little bit too old. While I was sort of at college, and I didn't have the time to play it. So I just missed out. So I did try and get into it, but never had the time to play the games on the Game Boy. So this is like really my first introduction to the original games. Pokemon Go, like you're saying, it's sort of split. The community is split. And I picked up Pokemon Go when it first came out, and it was like really my first introduction to Pokemon. I didn't know everyone obviously knows Pikachu and Charizard and a few of the others, but that's what really introduced me to
Eevee.
Pokemon. Eevee, absolutely. So, so Pokemon Go was one of those casual things that introduced me to the environment. I had tried to play the games in the past, never had the time, like I said. But this really is going to sort of open it up to the mainstream, I think, for people like me who might have missed out on that. The young generation, like Nahal, my boy, who's 8, he's now being introduced to Pokemon. That's the reason why we collect cards and why we've got into it, is because of him. And I'm probably more enthusiastic than he is about it at the moment. But, it's one of those things. I think this game is going to bring a new generation to the original games and the origins of Pokemon, going back to the sort of original, how Ash starts his journey, meets Brock and Misty, because Brock is in this new game. They showed that in the
Oh
footage
yeah, I
at
saw
E3.
that, and I was so. They
Yeah,
brought him back to like almost the original anime look. Honestly,
yeah.
like
Because
it's
we've been watching
actually.
the original anime, like the first few episodes. We've got through half the first season of the original anime, so we know the origin sort of, and it's good to see Brock in there. And it's interesting because they haven't shown what happens after the battle, so you don't know whether Brock's actually going to join you on your journey or not.
Oh
So, like in the
yeah.
anime, I wonder if that's going to happen. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, the Let's Go games to come out.
So I know it's the big debate because not everybody has the big money of those freaking huge streamers that are getting both games because they're flaunting their money and they want all the version exclusives and all that crap. So which one are you gonna get?
Okay, so for me, my birthday is literally 10 days after this comes out. So I've pre-ordered Let's Go Eevee for myself. And I've also I pre-ordered the Pokeball Plus as well. Now I've locked those in. Luckily for us, I think it's probably the same in the States. Obviously with Amazon, you can pre-order, not pay for it now. So it's a pre-order. It
Yeah.
doesn't take the payment, but it gives you a pre-order price guarantee. So if they drop their price at any point between now and release, even if it's for a few hours, if that price comes tumbling down, you will only pay the cheapest price they had it for, no matter how many minutes or hours that was for during you pre-ordering and it being released. So I got my pre-ordering, so it's one of the early pre-orders, so I'm guaranteed it on day one. I can always cancel that pre-order close to the time if I find a bargain that Amazon doesn't price match. But for me, I've pre-ordered the Let's Go Eevee for myself and the Pokeball Plus, and then for Nahal, I've ordered the Let's Go Pikachu and Pokeball Plus for Christmas, for his Christmas present.
I
So,
mean,
um, so I was split. I didn't know which one to get. Nahal loves Pikachu more than Eevee, and I like Eevee more than Pikachu. So, with the whole evolution thing. So for me, we're going to see how it goes. Obviously, if it gets closer to the time, it is a huge expenditure to try and get both.
oh yeah.
But if it's going to be his Christmas present, I'm seeing that he wants that for Christmas. So I'm like, well, that's your Christmas present. That'll be cool. Okay. So yeah, I think we probably end up with both. But that Pokeball Plus looks awesome. I don't know if you've seen the trailers and video clips for that. It's like it's like the Pokemon Go Plus on steroids. That thing is, it's
Oh
it's
yeah.
awesome.
You get to take your special Pokemon with you. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be all Pokemon because God knows they can't program that little ball to have all of those Pokemon voices in it. But that thing looks amazing. Just so long as you don't like throw it accidentally at your screen when you're throwing a Pokeball.
Absolutely, and this is the thing with Nintendo. So they're quite smart when it comes to this sort of thing. So you can only have one Pokemon that you carry around with you. When you gently shake it, you'll be able to hear the Pokemon make their trademark noise, and there'll be a little glow and vibration. But what's also really good is they always make sure that you've got a lanyard on there which goes around your wrist, so they're not liable if you end up throwing that thing. So more than likely, they'll probably have some sort of a lanyard. So then when you do have it with you, it doesn't go flying, especially when you're playing the game. And what I love about the game mechanics is you can play with one Joy-Con or the Pokeball Plus, because the game essentially is just a joystick and one button. and then the throwing action uses the gyro sensors in the Pokeball or the Joy-Con. So when you're playing this, all you need is a single Joy-Con, which is quite unique because and at the Treehouse video I watched yesterday, the creator was saying in Japanese, and when it was translated, he was saying, "Yeah, you play with one hand, and you can use your other hand to eat popcorn while you play." It's designed to be a casual sort of like laid back game. You're not going to be really intense, two controllers in there battling away. It is meant to be more of a laid back game, you know.
That's really funny about the popcorn thing. Also, since you only have to use one Joy-Con, they also introduced another thing into this game, which is going to absolutely amaze everybody. From what I'm seeing, it's amazing. And that is co-op Pokemon play, where your other
Yes.
somebody can just grab that other Joy-Con, shake it once, hop right in, and follow you. And yeah, they use your Pokemon, but get over it, man. I mean, it's Pokemon, and they use
Yeah.
the same. They use your items, but I mean, they're helping you on your journey.
Yeah, I just love that. It's co-op play. You know, you can again. It's not if you're playing Switch. And the great thing about this is, I think they're thinking about the environment of where this is. This is the first Pokemon game with the traditional type of mechanics that you're playing on the big screen, because usually they've all been on handheld. So they're trying to introduce an element of, right, okay, so if you're going to be sitting in your living room or your games room or whatever, more than likely there's going to be somebody else potentially wanting to sort of get involved as well, maybe multiplayer. And this gives you that sort of social aspect of having someone else playing with you and supporting you on that journey, and the mechanics of how you can both throw a Pokeball together to catch the same Pokemon
That
is awesome as well. So
and like when you hit double, it actually has a special catch mechanic too, which looks amazing. My
yeah.
question is, since it's co-op, can you turn around and battle the person? I mean, that would be a
um
little game breaking,
no,
but
yeah, no, what I've seen is when you come across other trainers in the game, both of you co-op together. So you use both of your Pokemon to play against that other one. So it does support you. So I saw an example of, there was a bug catcher guy and
yeah.
got challenged by him, and then you and your co-op partner both used a Pokemon each, and you both attacked that one person together in a co-op mode. So it actually probably helped, and it gets you, both of you guys have your Pokemon up their XP when they win that battle. So it helps both of you. So when you're playing together like that.
And I don't know if you noticed this. Well, while they had all three of the starters, they had Pikachu and Eevee and that random level 15 Onyx in there. I don't know why, but um the starter Pikachu got a lot more experience than anybody else. And I don't understand how. Like Pikachu never was it never leveled up that fast. It leveled up just like all the other starters. So I'm thinking there's a buff on your whichever Pikachu or Eevee, so it levels up faster, so you get to whatever you want faster.
Yeah. I think because of the game mechanics, and it's the Let's Go Pikachu and the Let's Go Eevee, I think there's two different elements here. One is you've got the Pikachu that's sitting on your shoulder, and I think that's what you're talking about, levels up pretty quick. But then you also have your companion Pokemon, which you choose, as you probably saw in the video with Onyx.
Yeah.
Ash was riding the giant Onyx as he was walking around. So you have your Pikachu or your Eevee, depending on which game you've got, and then you've also got a companion uh, Pokemon that you take out of its ball as you're walking around. So I think, yeah, it's going to be interesting how the mechanics work like that, because I think it's all about that individual Pikachu probably leveling up is more around you as an individual leveling up like you do in Pokemon Go, like you go up to
Yeah.
levels. It's probably more around your individual level that Pikachu is representing rather than the individual Pokemon itself.
So you can, like you said, the companion Pokemon. You can also it's not like Gold and Silver Companion. It doesn't have to be the first Pokemon in your party anymore. You can literally choose the last Pokemon in your party, the second, the middle one, the end, or whatever one you want. You don't have to actually have it placed in the first slot in your party anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think this is similar to, this is where the Pokemon Go element comes in. So it's like when you select your buddy on Pokemon Go, you can switch that out, you know. So, and I think that's
yeah,
where this is that you're getting the crossover with the Pokemon Go and the Pokemon traditional games. So I think that is quite apparent from the Pokemon Go side of things, with you selecting your buddy. Whenever you can switch them out whenever you like. When you're walking
yeah.
with them, you collect the candy, etc.
So I'm gonna talk a little quieter now because that door got opened and fiance shushed me. um. So we kind of took a while on the switch there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep this a little shorter because it's an introduction. Basically an introduction to this series, so we don't like overwhelm these people because
Yeah.
nobody wants a 2-hour video to watch. Basically, what they're
Unbelievable.
gonna do is shut it off in the background and do their chores with while they're listening. Um. So, letting the people know out there, the guy Jess that was supposed to be with us, he shared a bunch of links for us to go and check out, and one of the there was the vending machine. There was the Pokemon Quest thing we're going to talk about, and the other thing is a very, very, very good thing, and that is about the Pokemon Go Earth Day event. Now,
Yep.
when he first shared this, I didn't read fully into it. But before me and Todd started recording this, I actually went and looked at the stats of it. 4,200 people showed up. 68 different cleanup efforts. 19 countries. 6.5 tons of garbage got cleaned up that day, which Taj was saying just goes to show that all these media outlets that are saying, oh, gamers are violent because they play all these violent games are wrong. We actually give a crap about our planet. We give a crap about other people. We don't all want to go out and kill people. I mean, we get our outlet in the game. We don't get it outside. It's an outlet. It's not creating an outlet. But we wanted to pinpoint this because it's absolutely amazing that this many people showed up to help out in saving our planet, basically saving the wildlife, because I'm sure half of this was at the beach where, well, I'm not like a penguin, but like, those ducks that get those the 6-pack can things around their necks. They choke to death, and
Yep.
it's all that good stuff that we picked up. Well, I didn't pick up, but I just got the experience. And it's very rewarding to see and witness something of such caliber from a community that nobody probably expected it from. A bunch of fat ass gamers sitting on their ass spoofing. That's what we're all looked at as. Thoughts on that, Taj? Or
Yeah, so like I was saying before, the media have been quite quick to blame gamers for violent incidents in this world, and we all know that's pretty apparent. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think video games are there. Some of them are violent, obviously, and not appropriate for children, but somehow children do get their hands on these games, and people do play these games. But it is escapism. So I don't think violent video games are the reason for violence in this world. People who make these accusations probably saw very violent movies when they were younger that they weren't supposed to do. Hasn't turned them into criminals. But Pokemon Go, let's go to this whole Pokemon Go Environment Day element now. What this goes to show is that there is a positive side to video games. Pokemon Go is revolutionary in the way that it's sort of breaks all the stereotypes about video games. It gets you out there, gets you fit, gets you out in your open environment, away from a room where you're sitting in front of a screen and a controller. With the community element of it, they've started to get people to meet each other, create real life social groups where people are physically meeting each other rather than virtually online, and going and raiding at Pokemon gyms together in groups, which is amazing. And I think using this community day and this environment day, they're now using all that positive energy of people meeting and creating real social groups in real life to go and make a positive change and a positive impact to the environment around them. And I think this is where we're going back to the whole community aspect of, we've got scouts and stuff that kids get involved in. And, this is similar to that. You're getting people to, again, go back to the old way of socially meeting up and having a good time, you'll probably end up going to a raid, but then you probably go and sit in a restaurant and have lunch together as well afterwards, or go for a drink.
I have, yeah.
People, yeah, so people do meet up, and friendships and bonds are made, and you make friends with people. I mean, I'm quite lucky because through our Pokemon channel, we've made friends with people like you and Jess and Daddy Daughter Duo and Sarah Dorabazoro in Japan, and we've got Mad the Mad Collector. We've made lots of friends around the world, but what this Pokemon Go does is it makes friends in your local environment, people who live very close to you that you may never usually interact with, but it's the icebreaker, and to be able to do positive things as well is a great thing, especially cleaning the environment. It's a big topic at the moment. We are, as a society and as a people of the world, generating more rubbish than we ever have. When we need to get smarter about recycling that rubbish and having more of being more conscious and responsible about our environmental impact. And I think that this Community Day event really has brought that to the limelight and shows what you can do.
Yeah, definitely. I know the town. I just recently moved, as most of the 5 people that watch all my videos know. But the town that I moved from, I still go back to that Pokemon Go community because I've made those bonds. I know those people, and honestly, I've been told the community in the place I am now is crap, but I still, the community that we had in that place, they would have these competitions on community, like who got the heaviest shiny Wailmer, if that was ever a thing, or who got the tallest Alolan Executor. And the product of that would be, hey, we'll buy you a drink or a sandwich, because most of us are adults and we are over 21. We can have a drink or two because we deserve it. And that would be most of the, people would go out and have fun with each other and then go sit down and have a drink or two. And the other day, one of the bars, they serve actual food, and I was one of the people suggested that I go try their pizza, and I sat down and ate 3 slices of it for $1 a piece, because that's freaking amazing. But it's just that community is definitely a very welcoming community, and it's something only Pokemon can do that I've seen. That's the only community I've ever seen that can do this kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been part of the Pokemon community since, we started collecting last August. We started our channel in November last year. And since we've started our channel and we started reaching out and talking to other Pokemon collectors on Facebook and Instagram, especially, and now Twitter more recently, it's amazing how welcoming, how friendly everybody is. And this community is so unique. You know, I don't think we've really experienced any bad, people being rude or aggressive to you. Everyone's friendly, welcoming, and supportive, and so giving as well. It's like everyone just wants to share their joy of Pokemon with each other, and it's amazing how people, reach out and say, "Oh, I know you need that card. I'll send it to you," or I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, the generosity in this community is amazing. And yeah, and I'm really impressed, and it's really helped me and my son Nahal, um, make friends, like I was saying earlier on, all across the globe. We know that we've got friends in every corner of the world who are doing exactly what we're doing, collecting Pokemon and sharing the joy. And we have we have common interests that we can talk to each other about. So yeah, it's a really unique community, definitely.
Uh, you also mentioned that I forgot to mention this in my part of the rant, but that the people that connect with each other would never run into each other otherwise. And
Absolutely.
that's very, very true because I work at Walmart and I don't go to the hospital at all. And there's about 10 to 15 people from the hospital that have never met each other in the hospital in that town that actually know each other now and know where each other works because of this. And there's even a new guy that's just started. Well, he didn't just start because he's level 40, but he just started in our community, and he's
Yep.
from the IT, and nobody freaking knew him. He's a guy that fixes all their computers when it's broken, and nobody knew him. And now he's integrating into our community, and everybody's so welcoming of these people. It's like I said, something you won't see in any other community that I've
Absolutely.
seen. All right. Um, vending machines go Earth Day, Switch. Now, this is kind of a minor topic. I mentioned it when right before we started talking about the Switch, and that is Pokemon Quest. It looks like a Minecraft Pokemon odd game that you said is a free game. It looks kind of
Yep.
cool. There's shiny Pokemon in it, so it's even better. And it looks like a kid game, but if you look on YouTube, there's a lot of YouTubers that are playing it that are older than me. I mean, I'm
Yep.
only 23, but there's still a different generation than I am, and they're playing it. They're playing a 10-year-old's
Yep.
game. So it's caught on to more than just 10-year-olds. And I know you've
Yeah.
caught the fever here too.
Yep. So got my Switch here. And if you see the last game I've played on here, well, there it is. It's actually playing at the moment. That's Pokemon Quest. So yeah, yeah, I've got the fever as well. This thing is pretty good. I mean, from I saw it. It was released. I saw the news and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I was at work and I got it to remotely download to my Switch while I was at work. So when I got home, it was on there. Um, And yeah, I've been playing it. I haven't really had much time to play. I play about 15 minutes a day. I know some people have been playing fanatically. So Pokemon and Wife have already got all 151 Pokemon on there. But for me, it's great. It's a freemium game, so it's typical like most games these days. It's free to download. I think it is coming to mobile smartphones as well. So I think that is a plan, but they've released it on the Switch first, which is great. And the whole idea is you have expeditions that you go on with your attacking party of three. You pick a starter Pokemon and you can switch those around. So and you create recipes in your base camp and you attract new Pokemon. And then you win Power Stones and other items from when you go out on your expeditions and battle Pokemon, and that then helps you to upgrade and strengthen your Pokemon so their battling abilities increase, which means you can then go out and go on harder battles as you venture this island that you've arrived on and are exploring. So it's great mechanics. You can only go on 5 expeditions within a certain time limit, and then it recharges over time. For me, that's great. I only play 10-15 minutes at a time. But if you're going to be playing lengthy periods, you can't really play 2 hours without having to pay to get those extra expeditions in, which is the whole idea of this whole freemium model. But for me, this is one of those: pick them up, play it for 10-15 minutes, put it down again, wait till all of it's recharged, go back in again. I mean, I never use all 5 of my expeditions in one go. I probably use 3, and then I've got 2 left, and another's recharged by the time I get back to it. So for me, it's not a big deal. I will probably end up paying this game totally free, not spending $1 or a cent on it, as you guys would say in the States. But for me, yeah, I think it's great. It's a great introduction element. It's a great gap filler until Let's Go comes out. So it gives people something on the Switch to play, which is Pokemon related. When Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee come out, again, that's meant to be a gap filler until the big RPG game comes out next year in 2019. So Pokemon have really planned this well. I think they've got people being introduced to the Pokemon world on Switch. They're slowly introducing you with this freemium Pokemon Quest. You'll then get familiar with the characters and mechanics, and then with your Pokemon Go experience, when Let's Go comes out, everyone will really dive straight into that. Again, you'll have those starter Pokemon in there, and then you'll move on, and then the big game comes out next year, by which point everybody will like, take my money, I need that game. It is the whole Pokemon way of doing things, and I think it's pretty smart marketing, and it's great for us, free game.
Well, I'm gonna go on a miniature rant here, because there are people in this community. I say this community is great. There are a bunch of whiners in this community as well, because you can't have a real community without them.
Absolutely.
And they are
There's got to be a balanced opinion on both sides. Yeah.
They're complaining about the fact that you can't. The one thing that's different about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is that you can't battle wild Pokemon. It's just because it's like Pokemon Go. It's introducing them. It's mainly focused on introducing them to this core series.
Yeah.
But what they're not realizing is this is going to be 4 freaking years in a row that we have gotten a Pokemon game. 4. Every other generation, you would have to wait 2 years between each game. And you never got them back to back to back to back like this. And they're really starting to pick up. And I feel like they've finally found their groove to where they might come out with Generation 8 next year, which I'm assuming that's what they're coming out with, because it's basically been confirmed by their own mouths. And hell, they might come out with a I think it's 4 remake the next year. And then the Gen 9 the next year. Who knows?
Yeah.
They might actually keep on going year after year after year now, because they've finally found this old crew is working on the heaviest stuff, and this younger, not as refined crew is working on, like, Let's Go Pikachu, where it's a minor game, but still very, very rewarding.
Yeah. I think what you've got to think about is, look, Disney are using the same mechanics with Star Wars franchise, okay? So the original Star Wars films come out every 2 years, and then they bring out a new film every gap year in between, which is a new story. Like, you had Rogue One and you've got Solo. So you need that time for a development point of view to bring out a quality product. So the team that work on the new material are going to need 2 years to develop a game that's going to be strong and tested and games tested and all the bugs ironed out. So they'll have another team working every other year on these remakes. So what it does, as you say, it's very difficult to maintain an annual cycle of bringing out good quality, high quality, brand new material. The gap years in between, you will have a separate team working on different material, which is you recycling some of the older stuff, but bringing the nostalgia factor in and potentially bringing new people into the gaming world. So what Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu are going to do is bring in those Pokemon Go casual gamers into the hardcore sort of Pokemon gaming world. And then what that'll do is when the new RPG comes out next year, which they've been developing since last year, so they're going to spend a lot of time making sure this game's as slick as they can make it. You will now have a new group of people who are going to be invested in wanting to play that game. So those guys from Pokemon Go who've tried the Let's Go element, and then you're going to have the hardcore gamers who've been playing since they were kids, since the early 2000s, the late 90s, who are dying to see this new Generation 8, brand new Pokemon game RPG where they bring it to the Switch. They said they're going to drastically change the mechanics, but they're going to have that traditional element of how you battle in there as well. So I think it's smart. If you look at, I mean, I was looking at the financials of how Pokemon did last year. Their profits jumped 2,500% in all
Good
their
God.
franchises. Their net profit was, let's see, it was 143 million. So that's 25 times more than the previous year, which was only 5.6 million. So they're making some, good money by getting themselves out there and diversifying this whole thing. I think I was reading that
Yeah.
just the trading card game itself in Europe, in the UK and Europe, 81% of all trading card game market is Pokemon. That's huge.
Really?
Yeah,
Jesus
there's
Christ.
450,000 active players who play the card game, the TCG game, at local leagues on a regular basis. 500,000 people worldwide regularly play in leagues and tournaments, and don't forget the guys who play online as well. So this is
Yeah.
huge. They are really, really have got, and Pokemon Go's been one of the most successful mobile games of all time. So, Pokemon really are smart about how they are doing things. And similar to Disney, like I was saying, they have got a they've probably got a timeline they've got in place for 5-6 years of how they want things to iron out. And that's what they're delivering on. So, yeah, it's quite impressive how they're moving forward with the Switch, because otherwise people would have had to wait far too long for a Pokemon game had they not released Pokemon Quest and the Let's Go series.
Of course. I mean, and like you said, bringing that massive community, well, I'm going to say a portion of that community, because not all Pokemon Go players are going to come over,
No.
but still that community is still massive. They've weeded out the wannabe fans who only picked up the game because hey, it's trending on this and this, and they've weeded that out. And now we have true fans of Pokemon Go. And to bring them, the true fans of Pokemon Go, to become true fans of the entire franchise, like you said, they'll have the year to play Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And they'll enjoy it. They'll see this different style of graphics and gameplay, but with some similarities to what they're already used to. And they'll get even more hyped for this new game that's coming out in a year.
Yeah.
And it's been in the making for a while now, but we all know it takes a decent amount of time to actually do work on a game. I mean, we've seen I know this is probably not something to talk about on this, but I've seen fan games where, like, one fan game just got released about a month and a half ago, and they've been working on it for an entire decade.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of work to go into one game. So for them to even come out every 2 years is very, very good. Now that they're
Well, you
coming
look at
out.
games even with huge production value. So you look at Breath of the Wild, Zelda. How many years
Oh my
did that take to
God.
come out? And even with Rockstar Games, Red Dead Redemption 2 is taking forever to come out. When I waited between Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5, the wait was huge. They brought out the sort of little side story games in between. But yeah, even with huge production houses with massive resources at their disposal and hundreds of games testers and people coding and developing and designing, it takes years to get that perfect. And then if you rush it, all you're going to get is people complaining about how poor the game is and how they've spent all that money buying the game. So you can't rush these things, especially if you want to protect your brand and you don't want that brand to get tarnished. You have to make sure everything's good, and that's
And
the case. So Pokemon want to protect their brand. They don't want to bring out a rubbish game.
it's definitely a very good brand to protect as well, because they're well known for their gameplay, the amazing quality that comes out of them in general, in all aspects of their games, their TCG, uh, their TCG online. Even though Forbidden Light has completely broken it, but I'm not going to touch on that because I already did a rant video on that. The quality, the quality of some of the cards is kind of until you get into the Japanese cards, and they're freaking hot. They're absolutely high quality cards.
Yeah.
But in general, it's a very good company to protect because there's so much quality there. If they come out with one bad game, it's going to tarnish the entire company.
Absolutely.
All right, so is there really anything else besides like Celestial Storm coming out in like August and making us wait 5 months?
So you got Celestial. Yeah, so you got Celestial Storm coming out, and then you've got Dragon Majesty, which is coming out. So Dragon Majesty is based on Dragonstorm, the Japanese set. It's going to be this year's Shining Legends, the previous year's Generations. It's going to be one of those smaller sets, which you can't buy booster packs on their own. They will come in sets. You'll have a box set or something. You wouldn't be able to go into a shop and buy an individual booster pack. So it is that sort of subset where you only get the packs in collection boxes, like pin collections or larger collection boxes, or the chest, that you have, like the collector's chest. So that's coming out. So it'll be similar time to Shining Legends. So it'll probably be just after Celestial Storm, probably a month or so before the next big set comes out, which is usually in November. So we'll have Celestial Storm in August, and you have the next Sun and Moon set out in November, and then the following one in February. But yeah, Celestial Storm, and then we're going to have Dragon Majesty, which is a dragon-based set, obviously. Yeah.
I just really hate the fact that they're making us wait 6 months between freaking Forbidden Light and Celestial Storm.
I think Forbidden Light just came out in May, didn't it? Yeah. So it's usually a 3-month cycle. So from Sun and Moon, there have been quite. I mean, it seems like longer because the hype around Forbidden Light was so much that we've forgotten how it's only been about a month since it came out. So I think yes, they've got a very tight time schedule. It's every 3 months at the moment. We've been collecting since, like I said, last August, and what I've noticed is it's a 3-month cycle. So when we started collecting, I think Guardians Rising had just come out. Burning Shadows, I think Burning Shadows had just come out, and then Crimson Invasion came out, and yeah, and then Ultra Prism was in February, and then in May we had Forbidden Light. So Celestial Storms in August, and then again in November we're going to have the next set. Yeah.
Honestly, I hate to say this about any set, but to me I feel like Forbidden Light was kind of a flop. I mean, there was so much hype around it that they had to have a very, very, very high quality set around so much hype. And I mean, to me, I think I feel like it's been out for so long because there's so many YouTubers that got cases upon cases a month and a half in advance. So they were opening them so far in advance, and it feels like it's been out for 4 months now when it's only been 2. And, Ultra Prism, they promised a second print run, and we never got it. And I really wanted it because, I liked Ultra Prism.
Yeah, I think Ultra Prism was definitely the better of the two sets. Forbidden Light for me, one, from the pulls factor, we've been opening quite a lot of Forbidden Light product. We opened a booster box, we opened a couple of Elite Trainer boxes, and some collector boxes, and the pulls are horrendously low. Similar to Crimson Invasion, it's very difficult to get good pulls. And for me, that makes it very costly to try and complete the set. For me, we're collectors as well as players. and we like to get a master set of each set. And Forbidden Light, for me, is a lot more difficult than Ultra Prism was. As far as the cards as well, the mechanics of the cards, yeah, bit of a letdown for me. Personally, Ultra Necrozma is by far the standout good card in that set. But again, it's few and far between. The other cards aren't so playable. You've got, I think, Deontay Prism Star's pretty good for those with the fighting decks with the Boswells and the decks.
Yeah.
But which has been dominating for so long. But the new set's now coming out in Japan. So we've just opened our Japanese Celestial Storm, basically, which makes up 70% of the cards in Celestial Storm. That's got Rayquaza, which is a pretty cool GX, which has just won Japanese Nationals. So there's some new, pretty good cards coming out. I think there's a Blaziken GX in there as well. There's a Stakataka Ultra Beast GX and a few others. But that, and I think Champion Road is going to make up Celestial Storm. So we'll probably be doing a preview video of Celestial Storm. We'll be combining our cards from Charisma of the Broken, Cracked Sky, whatever you want to call it, and Champion Road. And we'll be showing you, my predictions have been pretty good in the past when I've done my preview videos for like Ultra Prism and Forbidden Light using my Japanese cards. So we'll probably do a preview video of what GXs to expect in the new set and how they're going to be working. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's looking like Celestial Storm might be a better set than Forbidden Light.
I think there's literally 2 cards from Forbidden Light that I use in my main deck that I use, and that's the Metal Frying Pan and Dialga GX. Because I run a almost pure metal deck. The Frying Pan, it was a must. I had to put it in there. I forget what it does, but 1, it looks amazing. 2, I mean, it's a freaking metal frying pan. It can legitimately in the right hand kill somebody, but I mean, it complements my deck so well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I run psychic decks mainly, so Malamar's been great because I can now. Malamar's been great for me because Malamar lets me attach energy from the discard, which gives me some energy acceleration finally for psychic decks. And I love Naganadal's my favorite Pokemon, Naganadal and Poipole. So for me, that was great having those 2 in the set as well, because I now run Naganadal is my main attacker now, and I've got some supporters in there. We're going to have to play each other soon on TCG Online.
Absolutely.
So my deck at the moment is based around Naganadal Psychic with Malamar supporting on the bench with that energy acceleration. So yeah. Those 2 were pretty good for me from Forbidden Light. I finally got some energy acceleration for my psychic deck.
And I already had energy acceleration with Magnezone. And I think Mount Coronet is what I also run for a stadium, because that's brings back from your discard. So I have it completely set up the way I want. And I think another reason I like Ultra Prism over Forbidden Light is because the search for gold is such an amazing search, and I've only actually ever found gold once, and that was towards the beginning of me collecting online. And because I run the Solgaleo GX deck, search for gold is all that much better because I can actually use it.
Yeah.
I have yet to come across a Lunala, though. I mean, I'd love to, but the jerk is not.
The question people keep asking are why are there not any more gold cards? Now, if you look at what this set is, so Sun and Moon, the signatures from day 1 were Lunala and Solgaleo, right? And people forget that we're a year into the series now, and Pokemon strategically have only made those 2 signature characters gold. If they start doing it for the rest of the big GXs or legendaries, it's going to become watered down, that it's not going to be as special. And I think that's why they've stuck to the 2 signature characters only being in gold, because people have been saying, why are there no more gold cards, so
the same reason they did Reshiram and Zekrom only back in the day, which
Absolutely.
were horrendously done because you could not even see the damn Pokemon, but it's still the factor of you that you had them. I don't have them.
Yeah.
I wish I did, but it's the same aspect. You can't have every GX card a gold card because it's not, the search for gold's not cool then.
Yeah.
Search for gold is only cool when you have legendary gold cards. I mean, they could have made Ultra Necrozma gold, but I mean, that's because it's literally in the games the best Pokemon ever. It
Yeah.
has, I think it's, this is probably not go like right over some people's head, but a base stat total of 760, and all of its stats put together. 760 is by far the biggest stat total ever.
Yeah.
And it's
And I think you probably will see a gold card of it eventually, probably in the next 2 to 3 sets, probably early next year. Maybe in Japan, we'll probably see it by November because the Lunala and the Solgaleo gold came out in the GX Battle Boost set. There's another one of those coming out in November in Japan. So we'll probably see it in Japan, maybe. I think the gold card of Ultra Necrozma in November. If we do, then we're bound to see it here in February, but with the new set we get in February next year.
absolutely. So I think we've been recording for about an hour now. I meant to only keep it like half an hour, but oh well. It's 5:30. I'm probably needing to go to bed here soon.
Yeah.
So
It's very, very late in the night for you.
yeah. If is there any last thoughts you want to say or anything like that?
No, I
I'm sure.
think we've covered quite a few topics here today, and yeah, it's gone on a little bit longer than expected, but we've had some really good conversations. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great series. So yeah, look forward to having Jess and Mav on board as well to give their opinions in future episodes. But yeah, I think yeah, I've really enjoyed today's show.
It's gonna be interesting having 4 different people talking at the same time, but definitely gonna be good. Anyway, since you have no final thoughts, I don't really have any because all my thoughts are gone because I'm now only thinking about sleeping. That's it for the video, guys. My name is Megas Wampario. Joined with my good friend Taj from PokeTalk, the YouTube channel. I'll probably leave a link in the description to his channel because you guys definitely need to check him out. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care, guys.